As of 24 hours ago from this recording, Top Shot finally released the Top Shot score to replace Collector Score. In this video, I'm going to share my screen and we will go over all of the implications, including the early adopter bonus replacing team and set bonuses, what happens to those who stacked Series 2 40Ks at a low price, and the future of Top Shot's team and player leaderboards. I'm also going to explain to you why I think Top Shot did not miss when delivering TSS and why it's 1,000% better than Collector Score moving forward into the future of Top Shot. Let's go. Welcome back, everybody. If you're new, my name is Eric, and for the past year, we've been obsessed about NBA Top Shot and strategies to build the best collection possible. Now, when I say that, I mean a collection that you love and also a profitable one. I know times in the market have been rough lately, but we've been learning, and I'm thinking 2, 3, 5, and even 10 years down the road from now for Top Shot. Now, if you plan on staying around for that long like me and you get any value out of this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and join this amazing community here. Would really appreciate the support. Big shout out to my subscribers. Let's go ahead and zoom in. In addition to subscribing, hit that like button and make sure to leave a comment if you have any questions and just kind of let me know what you think about Top Shot score replacing Collector Score. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'm going to start this video out a little bit differently than I usually do. We will get to all of the basics of Top Shot score, what the team leaderboards are, what locking is, what the future holds for this TSS, and a bunch of other things in this video. But I really quickly just wanted to show you this spreadsheet that I put together as to how I stacked my Series 2 40K moments for Collector Score in the previous model and how it translates over to TSS right now. It's actually works out really well for me. And if you're following the channel and using the strategies that we talk about here all the time, then it probably worked out well for you too. As you can see, I only really stacked 2 players to increase my Collector Score. It was the Devin Booker and the Chris Paul 35K and 40Ks from Series 2. As we all know, if you had the complete team set, there was a multiplier of 1.5 for the series set and then a 2 multiplier for the entire series set. So that gave you a 3x multiplier, giving that 12-point moment a Collector Score value of 36 if you had the series set and the whole team set, which I did. So here's how it broke down for me. And I always talk about collecting superstars here. You know, you don't want to, for me, I wasn't going on and collecting the lowest tier player on the Phoenix Suns. You know, a lot of my Collector Score was built around my legendary finals moments that I had from Devin Booker and CP3 last year. So that was the biggest value of my collection that could be optimized for Collector Score. I did that, okay? And I ended up picking up 90 Chris Paul and Devin Booker total, 35 and 40K. So I had 20 of the Booker 35K, 11 of his 40K, 44 of Chris Paul's 40K, and 15 of his 35K. I just did an average right here. As you can see, I got some of them for $4, some of them for $5. So I just put them in there at 4.5. I could go back and look at that data if I wanted to, but I didn't think it was necessary to explain here. That cost $405 to get 90 of those moments. Okay. The current value of them is $3 on the marketplace. I checked them out. So basically I've lost $135 worth of value to my collection. So it's a $1.50 loss per moment on that one. Here's why, if you did it this way, it is not too bad, okay? And we'll talk about everything kind of being encompassed. So if you don't really get this quite yet, you will get it when we talk about the basics of TSS. A lot of that loss, I think, can contribute to the market and where it's at right now in general, the lack of user growth, whatever you want to call it, the supply-demand issues, so be it. The cost of these, I don't know if they're going to go up or down, right? I don't know if it's going to stay at $3 for the CP3 and Booker 35K and 40Ks, or if it's going to go up or whatever it is. But regardless of that, my Collector Score for all of these was 3,240. So that is basically 90 moments times 36. Okay. And now, since I paid $4.50 for them on average, the new Top Shot score multiplies that by 10. So it'll give me 45 points for each of those. And I had 90 of them for a total score of 3,600. And we'll talk about this also, but those have to be locked in order to get that counted towards your team leaderboard. They also have to be locked in to get counted towards the player leaderboards, which are going to be really exciting to talk about. And for me, when it breaks down, that is basically 3,600 TSS score for Suns, 1,395 for Booker, and 2,655 TSS points for CP3 just on these 90 moments that I have that I already purchased. So my strategy is going to depend on a lot of things. It's going to depend on what the locking benefits are. It's going to depend on what the crafting benefits are. So I may or may not get rid of these. There will have to be a part 2 of this video that talks about locking and crafting. We're definitely going to cover that on this channel. So stick around for that. But now I think it's time just to get into the basics. So if any of this didn't make sense, it all will now. You can always come back to this part of the video. Let me know what you think of this. I know it could be a little bit worse if you were stacking a player who's not very good, just to get your collector score up. But that's something that I was kind of recommending against and cautioning against to begin with, because I don't really like holding players in my collection that aren't, people who I would be happy with long term. So it helps me sleep a little bit better at night knowing that there wasn't a ton of that going on in my collection. Okay, now there are 2 blog posts that we will hit the bullet points of. There's some really good videos. Blockchain Steve made an awesome video basically breaking down this whole article right here in a video form. I mean, basically he goes over all of this article in that 3-minute video. So I would recommend watching it. But the basics of Top Shot Score are that the marketplace dictates the amount of Top Shot Score that moment is. It takes into consideration what the serial number is. If you paid higher dollar amount for a lower serial number, for example, then it would be based off the price that you paid for that as opposed to anything else, right? And this is applied to everything that's in your collection. So whatever you paid for a moment is going to be multiplied by 10, and that will be added as a Top Shot score to your account. This example right here says that if you bought a $50 moment, then that would be a $500 Top Shot score while you own that moment. Now, if you sell it or gift it, that goes away. If you want to lend it to somebody for a challenge and they gift it back to you after that, then the price readjusts there to the average sale price of that moment over the life of the moment. As an example, I want to take a look at this Damian Lillard. And the reason that I picked this one is because a lot of you know how much I love this moment. For the historical context, it was a game-winning buzzer beater to put them into the next round of the playoffs in Game 6, stopping the series to go to Game 7 in Houston in 2013. Somebody asked me some of the moments that have historical significance. This is definitely one of them. So this one I bought for $30, say, and the Top Shot score equivalent to that would be 300 points. Okay. As you can see, the price came down. Now, the Top Shot score does not change. It will always be 300 as long as you have that in your collection. In addition to that, if you were to buy this right now, you could see the price has gone down pretty significantly. What they do is they're going to award you the average sale price right here. So they're going to use this number, 2550, multiply it by 10. So they will give you 255 Top Shot score points for buying this right now. Even though you're buying it down here at 23, it is the higher of either the average or what you've paid for it. So in this case, the average is going to be higher. They would give you 255 points for that. Drop a comment and let me know if you have any questions or if there's any confusion. Now, in addition to that, if the value increases, the average value increases, it's still going to stay at 255 TSS for now, but they are looking at ways to adjust that in the future for holding moments long term and having the value go up on the marketplace. So if it's 255 right now that you're getting for it, and this moment goes up to $40, it would be, technically at that point a 400 TSS. They're looking at ways to increase that TSS to 400, but it hasn't been come up with yet. So stay tuned for that. All right, this article does a really good job about explaining why. Also, if you didn't listen to their spaces, there is a link in this next article that we're going to go over to the podcast that has the recorded spaces with Alan at NBA Top Shot and Jacob explaining all the mechanics behind what went into the new Top Shot score. And I would say it is just very well thought through, and I was happy with it as a collector for many, many reasons. A couple of those reasons are that it is now incredibly more simple to calculate your score. In addition to that, you can really collect what you love as opposed to doing things that you don't necessarily want to do so that your score is higher, so that you can get into priority queues or something like that. And we'll talk about that stuff right now. We're going to talk about team leaderboards, and we're going to talk about the early adopter bonus too. So I know that was one of the big concerns, and we're going to zoom in and get into that here. Okay, here is where the early adopter bonus comes in, and I will give you the short and sweet version of it that I listened to. I've listened to that Spaces/podcast twice now, so I've also been all over Twitter, kind of taking community intake on it as well. And here's my initial poll, right? Most people are either liking it or still to be determined or contingent upon something else. About 13% said they don't like it, and then 1% just wanted to see the results. So people, 41% are liking it, 43% are still up in the air. Not a ton of people out there completely dislike this method that they came up with. So let's talk about the early adopter bonus. And I know one of the main concerns is that the team set bonuses and the set bonuses are going away. You no longer get a 2x multiplier for your set moments. You don't anymore get a 1.5 multiplier for a series set, or a 3x for every single moment out there plus the series sets. So if you were to have both of those combined, but there are some reasons behind that and some advantages actually moving forward. What they said is that when it comes to priority queues, you're going to be put in the same position. So this early adopter score was variable for all collectors. What they did was they boosted you based on what your collector score was and the disparity between your Top Shot score. So what I'm assuming that they did is put you in the same exact percentile of collectors as you were before. If you were in terms of collector score number, the top 10%, they kept you in the top 10%. If you were in the top 5%, they kept you in the top 5%, 2%, 2%. So this bonus was a different number that they added onto here, and it lasts until the end of Series 4, so a little bit over a year from now. The reason that they did that, and it's something to keep note of, is that this is a bonus that doesn't go away no matter what. If you sell all of the moments that you use to get this early adopter bonus, then it doesn't affect your Top Shot score at all. So the bonus doesn't go away. The points for the Top Shot score would go away, but the bonus is always going to stay the same. This just gives you a chance to get, again, into those queues that you normally would have gone into, and they were very thoughtful about that. All right, now we're going to take a look at team leaderboards, player leaderboards, and checklists. These should be coming out in the summer, they talked about. And this is one of the things that I think is most important, and it allows you to collect what you love. Okay, you don't have to collect those players on your favorite team that aren't going to be there much longer. You can focus on the more rare moments or legendary moments, or the higher priced or more significant common moments, if you please, or whatever you want to do. It gives a fair playing ground for the points on all the moments moving forward, given that they are just given a value based on what you pay for it. So let's look at the leaderboards and speculate a little bit too. Looking down here, you can see that leaderboards are coming directly on to the NBA Top Shot site. Right now, they're all done through Live Token, okay, a third-party website, and they're all going to be moving over to NBA Top Shot, it looks like, this summer. So one of the things that they mentioned is obviously the most popular players are going to be the most competitive. That's going to drive up the cost of their moments. That's why these are going to be looking more like collectible value as opposed to functional value. which I think is a step in the right direction for sure. In addition to that, they're going to be introducing a feature called locking. And what's really interesting about that is that in order to get the points on the team leaderboard or the player leaderboard, your moments have to be locked in, which means that you can't sell them, you can't trade them, or you can't move them off the platform to another wallet for a given period of time. And I don't know exactly what that extended period of time is. I don't know if it's going to last one series, if it's going to be shorter than that, longer than that, or if you're going to have an option. So that will be really interesting to see. And I think that's going to help me make up my mind as to how much of this stuff I'm going to want to lock, how much of it I'm going to want to be flexible to move around for other stuff out there on the marketplace. All right. Team checklists, they are removing historical moments. And there's also a little bit of a bonus down here that we'll talk about for hitting the team checklists. 3 types of checklists. One is a team series checklist that does not include historical moments. Again, for example, the Vince Carter All-Star one was a Raptors moment for Series 3. That's not going to be included because it was historical. Then there's going to be a contemporary team checklist, which includes all players who appeared in season on a team across all series. So the example that they used on that one is Steve Nash on the Lakers. They have a run it back moment for Steve Nash, but when they released the moment, he wasn't actually a player on the Lakers. So that's just what contemporary means. It means that they released it while he was playing on that team. Another important thing to note is that this also applies to the WNBA teams, team sets, and all that kind of stuff. Also, it was a great question that was brought up in the spaces, and all the same rules are going to apply with the WNBA moments as will to the NBA moments. So if you're a WNBA collector or you have moments in WNBA, I know I have a handful of them, then those will apply as well. Lastly, there's an all-time team checklist, which will include those historical moments, and you also get a team score bonuses for completing checklists. 10,000 points for each team series checklist, 20,000 points for contemporary checklist. That means all of the team players that aren't historical, and then 25,000 points for the all-time team checklist. So for example, in this one, if you hold a Series 1 Lakers checklist, a Series 3 Lakers checklist, and then also the contemporary, then you'd have a 65,000 point bonus because in Series 1, Steve Nash is in there. So that would give you that all-time team checklist as well. So, really right now with 3 series, you can get 30,000 points plus the 20,000 plus 25. So a total of 75,000 bonus points for completing all 3 of those. If you want to take a look at the old collector score, I'll make sure to link this article in the description of the video, as well as the other articles that were up there. My social medias are also there too, but then you can kind of do a spreadsheet analysis like I did at the beginning of the video and see, how it works out for you based on the number of points that you have and all that kind of stuff. You can also go into your TSS right here and take a look at what exact value is each of your moments getting you, but just by clicking on the TSS button at the top and then kind of scrolling down. These I got in packs. I get 31 for this one, 37 for that one. I paid $10 for this one, so I get 100, and it shows you all of them on there. So some really interesting ones right here. If you have any questions about what one specifically would cost or what number of points you're getting for one, they also bring it up on the marketplace when you go to buy or sell. They're continuing to have that function, which is going to be great. So yeah, those are my overall thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this video. I want to know what your thoughts are. I don't think Top Shot missed on this one. I thought it was really thoughtfully put together. And for a collector like me who loves to collect things that I want in my collection, which I think a lot of us do, right? My stacking was done with 2 of my favorite players, Booker and CP3. So I was okay with that, and I'm okay with the way that that turned out. But now it just allows me to focus on what I really love collecting is the more rare and legendary, and then the historical moments also. So I think it's a great step moving forward. It's obviously going to change some things with the lower tier or lower quality players. I can see the value on those slipping, but I think that was meant to happen anyways. So again, thank you for watching and thank you for subscribing to the channel. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Like that video, and I will see you on the next one very soon. I'll do a part 2 about locking and crafting and all that stuff as it comes out. And I got some other videos coming up soon too. So take it easy. Have a great day.